Hello everyone, and welcome to the FEE3 2023 presentation of Legacy of Sorrow by bpat. My name is Lorez, and for this presentation I'll be showing off Chapter 7. Specifically, I will be showing off the map by trying to LTC it, or complete it in the fewest amount of turns that I think is possible. So I'm going to begin this by introducing the map, showing off what we want to do, what's going to stop us, and what we can do to counteract that. You might have seen in the prep screen that this is a seize map, which is technically true, but you can't actually seize until both of these bosses are dead. Jeffrey, the hero, is the one sitting on the gate, so obviously we'll have to kill him. But we've also got to kill Gordon, the paladin, before we can seize. And he looks pretty out of the way, but thankfully for me, he's actually going to charge once you get close enough. So we won't need to get too out of the way for that. But one last objective we have in this map is to recruit Clint. Clint is a great knight and the first pre-promoted unit that you can control in this hack. So he's obviously super strong compared to the rest of our party. He's very bulky, and I suspect if we give him the right weapon, he'll be a pretty good boss killer as well. You might have noticed there are a couple villages in this map. They might have useful stuff, but I'm not going to visit them, so I guess you'll have to find out on your own. But that's enough for our goals this map. What are the things in our way? You might have seen, and I think one of the staples of Legacy of Sorrow is that a lot of its maps are very high in enemy density, and with this one having all the rough terrain, especially this mountain range at the beginning, that says to me that we're going to need to enlist a lot of flyers to clear this map quickly, but we need to navigate around two ballistae, which are obviously a death knell for Pegasi, and there are a couple archers at the beginning that I think are pretty scary, and the shamans, which despite Pegasus Knights having famously pretty high resistance, these guys have some really nasty magical attack, so I consider them one of the scariest generic types in the whole game. But that's enough about our threats. Let's see what kind of tools we have to deal with them. Starting with our Lord, this is Edgar. He has 5 movement, and he's the guy we need to sit on the gate. So unfortunately for Edgar, even though his combat would probably be appreciated, he's going to be spending like almost this entire clear in saddlebags. So not super important for the stats that he has. Most of his lances are for decoration. But the secondary Lord, Celia, is a dancer, so she's going to be putting in a lot of work, obviously. Third of all, the third unit that is force deployed in this map is Rose, the Pegasus Knight, the first prong of our flyer-based offense. She's the one that needs to talk to Clint to recruit him, and she's also got pretty good stats for this point in the game. High offense, a little bit frail, but she has the Silver Lance that makes her very scary for enemies. The second prong of our flyer-based offense is Violet, a Pegasus Knight I've been training since Chapter 5. Once again, very high speed, decent strength, but low defense. She has the Horse Slayer, so that gives you a hint as to what she might do. And finally, we have Ethan, the third prong of our flyer-based offense. He's, I think, pretty clearly the worst at combat of the 3, but there are a lot of important utility things that flyers are obviously still very good at, so he's going to be the one, he's going to be the glue that holds this clear together. As for the supporting team of these 3 flyers, we have Justin and Lisa. They are both staffers with C-rank staves, so they can both use physic as well as silence, which is going to be important. Next up, we have Daniel, the Cavalier. He is kind of the bulky cav of the Cain and Abel duo in this game, and so he'll have an important job in luring some enemies for us, but other than that, the rest of these units, Beatrice, Jane, Jenna, Thomas, and Rowan, are all just going to be kind of hanging around the starting area and protecting our frailer units from dying. So it's really the flyers and the staffers you want to pay attention to. And we have one final trick up our sleeve, and that is the invoke mechanic. Invokes are a unique mechanic to Legacy of Sorrow. They're a special effect you can bring out once per map to give a unit of your choice a certain bonus. There are currently 4 invokes that have been implemented, and luckily for you, this clear is demanding enough that I need to use all 4 of them. So, with that said, let's get started with the clear. Alright, we're going to start off turn 1 by having our foot units clear out the beginning area, and Jenna and Rowan are both going to be using a special weapon in this hack that I like to call swift weapons. And what they do is if you double attack, both of your attacks will go off before the enemy can retaliate. You can see there, that kept Rowan safe from that mage, and it also kept Jenna at full health against, I think it was another mage. Thomas also gets a lucky dodge here to keep him at full health, but I don't think that was very relevant. What is relevant is our main squad is going to start Pure Watering up. Pure Waters give +7 resistance just like in vanilla, but they also give an additional +7 luck, which is nice for boosting my hit rate a little bit, so that once Rose gets danced here, her normal 52% will boost to an amazing 59 against this archer. And that'll let Violet finish him off at 2 range. So that's one threat down, but those 2 Pegasi are still very much in danger. There are 2 shamans kind of near them, but that's why I brought the Silent Staff. So now they're going to be pretty much safe for turn 1 enemy phase. Thomas is not safe, so we need to rescue him away. But one thing I need to take care of for turn 2 is that archer. I need to lure him away from my Pegasus Knights. And so that is what I'm going to be doing with Daniel. Beatrice would not have the bulk to do what he does here. But now I kind of want to talk about my plan for turn 2 before we implement it. And that is to get Edgar within range of the castle and to recruit Clint. Those 2 things need to happen to actually finish the map in 3 turns. You see here the Pure Water comes in handy for letting Rose live that attack, and there's the archer being lured away from Clint, so now she's pretty much safe to talk to him on turn 2. Violet doesn't have Edgar yet, but we're going to fix that right there. Dance for Ethan because he has one last job to do that I'll show off in a bit. Get a skill level, that's probably going to be useful. And now, after I kill that mercenary, our foot squad is kind of going to retreat and take a nice little defensive posture. I just need them to survive at this point. They've done their job, they've lured the archer. I'm going to heal Daniel here because I like him. And I'm also going to physic up Violet because she's nowhere near done with dealing with enemies. But you're going to see here I'm actually a little bit short of talking to Clint, and that's where our first invoke is going to come in. Celerity is going to give Rose +3 movement, so I can talk to Clint and stay out of ballista range. I'm also going to trade him the Devil Axe and the Javelin, which are going to be important coming up real soon. That shows off the trigger for the Paladin Discharge, and now we're going to use Nether Swap, a 5 range swap, to get Violet in position to drop Edgar within range of the throne. And that was the other main job that Ethan had, but we're not done with our invokes this clear, because we are going to invoke Miracle, which will mean that the next unit of my army to be attacked for a lethal attack will always live at 1 HP. And if you've been paying attention, I know I've been doing my inputs a little fast, but that's very obviously going to be Clint. He's in the middle of a lot of enemies, and unlike Rose, he is not pure watered up, so those shamans are a huge threat to him. Edgar has pure watered up, so he's safe from those shamans, and Violet is also safe from those shamans, but they're really going to put a hurting on Clint, and that might leave you curious why I had to push him so far forward. And that's because of one of the weapons I gave him, the Devil Axe. The Devil Axe has a special property in this game, where if you dip to very low health, it gets plus 30 crit, which is going to be really useful for boss killing. But to do that, I need Clint to take a lot of damage, and you saw his defense is so high, I need to put him in range of a couple mages here. So with some smart positioning and a lot of luck, we get him down to exactly 1 health with the Miracle Invoke, and now he has a crit bonus going into turn 3. Starting off, we're going to deal with Gordon, the Paladin boss, and as you might have guessed, that's going to be with the Horse Slayer. Rose needs to chip in a little bit with her Javelin to get Gordon in range there, but that is 1 boss down, and soon we'll get to deal with the other one. But first of all, I want to clean up this area a little bit. And you might be thinking, the Devil Axe is a pretty inaccurate weapon in most games, and you're facing a sword user on a throne. So this is going to be terrible to rig, right? Well, the crit was kind of annoying, but I actually don't need to rig hits because of the final invoke that I'm going to show off, and that is Hawkeye, which always sets your next attack to 100 hit. So once I get this 28% crit, we are going to kill this boss and finish Chapter 7 in 3 turns. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.